Welcome, everyone. This is Nikki Kiohoho, CEO and co-founder of the DSWA. Just happy to have you with us for these free classes that we do every month. So hopefully you're on our mailing list or somebody shared this with you today, which I'm very happy about. So let's get started. Tonight's class is, will they stay or will they go? We all hope that they will stay. That's the exciting part about bringing on a new partner, a new customer, is that they stay with us. Well, there's certain things that will make that more apt to happen. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So we want to start off with building a solid and open relationship. So how do you establish rapport with people? I think this is sad, but I've been talking to a lot of people, and sometimes leaders don't want their upline leader to talk to their folks. And I think that's a mistake. I'm going to tell you in advance, because the more support somebody can have, the more successful they're going to be. They're still in your group, but that upline leader deserves to have an opportunity to have some influence over them. And maybe it's a good thing, and it probably is. So please don't tell your leader, please don't talk to my people. They're my people. Well, they're nobody's people. They're their own person. Nobody owns them, but give them the best shot to be as successful as they can be in the business. And the more support they have, the better off they are. So we want to establish rapport with them, connect with them, make a connection. And that means reaching out to them. Start a little card with all their contact details. What is their best form of communication? Because maybe their best form of communication is texting, and you're going, oh, crud, I don't know how to text, or I don't like to text, or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. Find a 10-year-old. Somebody can support you to figure that out. So it's an important thing to communicate in the manner in which they want to be communicated. So put that on that card. Also put on there that you have when is their birthday? When is the best time for them to have you call them? How do you find out what is good for people? Well, you got to start somewhere. So start keeping track of that information on a little profile card or in a binder with their name and their details. Who's their husband? What is their birthday, their anniversary? That says, I care about you. You want to build that connection with the people. And that means don't be afraid to get all that detail on them right at the very beginning. So another little thought is that you can show that you care by sending a welcome note. Welcome to our family. Welcome to our team. Let them know when you have meetings, what you have coming up, how to communicate with you. What are your office hours? And I hope you have some set office hours. So please don't say, you can call me 24/7. I'm available every day. They will call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't even have to live in Hawaii to have them call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. You said, call me anytime. Now, or you said, I'll hold your hand every step of the way. You're not going to hold their hand every step of the way. Don't set up unrealistic expectations. To have a solid relationship with someone, you want to speak what is really the truth. Don't over-exaggerate. Another thought is, what are you doing for your Getting Started program? How do you get them in the fold of what you've got going on, or your onboarding? What does that look like? When does the company offer that? When are the company calls? So in your welcome letter, you've outlined all these different opportunities that they can choose as much or as little as they'd like. You don't want them to think, oh, no, I have to do this and this and this and this and this. They don't want to do all that stuff. Maybe they just want to have one night a week to do something. So give them the options. Any of these options will work. It's up to you with how much time you want to commit to your business. And by the way, commitment of time is closely related to success in the business. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So build that solid relationship. Let them know that you care. You want to discover their level of commitment early on. Find out what's important to them. How committed are they? And there are ways to find that out specifically. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. I use the word commitment because I want you to get commitment is tied to integrity. Say this with me. Commitment is tied to integrity. They're connected at the hip. Because when you make a commitment and don't follow through, you're out of integrity and you know it because it was brought to your attention with the way that was said. So
can you repeat that, Nikki?
Commitment, and somebody could type it in the box, please. Commitment is tied to integrity. So that word is an important word. Even with my grandchildren, I'll say, so when will you get your room cleaned? And they'll say, oh, sometime this week. When will you commit to getting your room cleaned? Oh, crud, they know I mean business. And then they'll say, by Thursday at 5:00. Oh, great. So I know you're committed and I know you're a person of integrity. They know what that word means. You do what you say you're going to do. You do what you say you're going to do. You're a very honest person. I know I want my grandbabies to grow up to be people of integrity. So I give them an opportunity to make commitments and follow through with those commitments and notice when they do it. So discover their level of commitment early on. Find their emotional why and then anchor that to their decision to be a part of this business. If you don't know how to find that, there's a lot of classes that we do at DSWA where we've taught that. It's probably on the app, but we have it in our level 1 coach school coming up. We teach it in the elite leadership course. So there's a lot of places where we practice that because it's such an important skill. Now, you may not think the emotional why is different than the material why, but they are very significantly different. Material why is paying the bills off. The emotional why is taking part of the financial responsibility in the household, knowing I can take some pressure off of my husband because I'm taking on some of those responsibilities. That's an emotional reason. They're very different. Let's talk about a couple of others. Let's say I'm a more mature person. I call myself seasoned. I'm well seasoned. So a seasoned person, nobody's old. A seasoned person, security is important. To know if something was to happen to your partner, or to know if you had a job and the job was let go of, or to know that for some reason you weren't able to work in your direct selling business. Security is an emotional reason for people. They want to know that whatever happens, they can take care of themselves, that they're able to handle whatever comes their way. That's an emotional reason. Sometimes it's, I want someone to be proud of me. And it could be you being proud of yourself. That's an emotional reason to do this business. I want to be proud of myself. I want my children to see me as a successful business person. I want my husband to be proud of what I've accomplished. I want my parents to see me as an adult that is making things happen. So I want someone to be proud of me is a big reason for a lot of people. I want more choices for my family. I want to do more things for my family. I want to have more of an influence over my family. So I want to be home with them more. There's feeling, heart attached to all this. And I think if you can't feel it, it's probably not a strong enough emotion. And that's something you can be coached around. In our level 1 coaching school, we teach people how to find that emotional why, because we feel it is so important. And we feel it keeps people connected with the business longer. Because if they say, oh, because I'm looking for a social outlet. Well, there's tons of social outlets. They can go find a club in their neighborhood. So that's not strong enough to hold somebody, to make them feel like I really belong here. So that's an important part to keep people connected to your business. And I'm hoping that you all learn how to do that. So this next piece is how. Ask how they'll block off the time for the income producing activities, IPAs. How are they going to block off that time? Because we've got to give people a realistic expectation of the business. An example would be when you say, hey, the product sells itself. You don't need to sell the product sells itself. That's an unrealistic expectation. It doesn't like they just automatically know that you have this product and all you got to do is set it on your front porch and they're going to come and buy it from you. No, the product doesn't sell itself. We wouldn't need you if the product sold itself. So don't set that up as an expectation. Or you don't really have to sell anything. You don't really have to put any time into this. You can just let a few people know that you're doing it and you'll do great. No, so we've got to set up that expectation of time. And they must know what are the income producing activities. Money doesn't fly into your mailbox. As much as we'd like it to, it doesn't happen. So we want them to understand. So when someone says, well, I want to make, $10,000 a month, one of the first things I would ask would be, how much time do you have to commit? I would probably have asked first, what makes that amount important to you? So I could understand where they're coming from. Well, that's what I'm making now. So I can see they're trying to replace that income. But the other factor here is when they say, I want to make $10,000 a month, how much time do you have to commit to earning that kind of income? Well, I have 10 minutes on Thursday. So how many calls can you make in that 10 minutes on Thursday? Or how many people can you meet in that 10 minutes on Thursday? How many people can you do a demonstration for in that 10 minutes on Thursday? And so they understand time is directly in proportion to the income. It doesn't just happen because you thought about doing your business. You've got to really be doing the income producing activities. And that's part of the education for people in this business, is for them to learn how to block off time, how to make time for the activities, and also not lose sight of their family, not lose sight of other things in their life. I call it living in harmony. I don't call it balance because I think balancing is hard. But living in harmony, it's like there's peace in that. So that's part of your education for them early on. And not to have them see you as a workaholic, not to have them see you as only working. So on your Facebook, on your things that where people get to know you, let them know that you're on a date with your husband. Let them know that you went, on a vacation to see your sister. By the way, that's where I am, and I'm having so much fun. We're playing catchphrase every night, dominoes. I hate to say it, but I'm winning. But anyway, it's okay to let people know you have a life away from work. Nobody signed up for direct selling, one, to have a boss, you telling them what to do, and nobody signed up for direct selling to work 24/7. So when they learn how to block time, and notice there's little colored Post-its on there, you can color in your calendar. So it's really easy for you to see, when is your family time? When is your time to work? And by the way, just because you're thinking about your business doesn't mean you're doing your business. There are people that think about their business all day long and really don't do any income producing activities. I'm curious, what do you all think are income producing activities? I'm going to ask you to type it in the box. Of course, sales, that is an income producing activity. Selling a product would be holding events that produce income, following up with people. Thank you, Nina. Glad to see you again. And Jerry, nice to see you. Booking appointments, yes. Calling customers, reorders, three-way connection calls. All those things, recruiting, creating a pipeline or a funnel, asking for referrals, yes, income producing activity. Thinking, oh, I really should be doing this. Golly, I got to call all these people now. That is not an income producing activity. In fact, those things are getting in your way. When you say, I have to, I need to, I should, you're really scolding yourself. You aren't going to create income. You're going to create scarcity. So learn to block off time and teach everybody that you bring into the business how to do the same thing so that they actually are working their business like it's a business. This isn't a hobby. This is a business, and it takes dedication and commitment. So have them develop customers and team members to prospects. I am going to say this because I'm talking a lot about recruiting tonight, but I'm going to tell you this. I want you to understand that without customers, you really don't have a business. We've got to continue to develop our relationships with our customers and continue to honor them and do what we say we're going to do. And then we keep developing that prospect list. Let's just talk about the customers for a minute. You know, what's important with this is if you're thinking about a customer, who can benefit from my products or services? Who can actually benefit from what I offer? It's a great question to ask yourself. Who can benefit? Who has a need for these products or services? I love this one. Who have you not asked yet? Everybody's probably got a chicken list, and you got people on there. Take them off the chicken list and put them on your prospect list. Give them a call. They might actually buy something that would really be quite shocking. I know that when you have great customer service, you get more customers because they refer people to you. I just talked with someone that said, do you know anybody else that sells this product? It's really hard to deal with the person I'm dealing with. They don't call back. They don't do this. How is anybody going to grow a customer list if they don't follow through? And if they're not making sure that they're connecting with that customer. We got to do it. But I want to talk for a minute about, in team building and that prospect list. Now I'm going to ask you to bear with me for a moment because I'm not really that good with this tool yet, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I'm going to move to the next slide, which is blank. And this is a little tool. And so I'm going to bring up my little pen. Oh, I also forgot I got to pick the color. I love that part of it. But now they don't show me the color, which I don't like. I don't know why. When I did this before, I got to pick purple's my favorite color. Anyway, so this is a way to do prospecting. So I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself if you have something to share here, because I'm not going to be able to read fast enough. This is called an exponential prospect list. It's going to be different than what you've ever done before. Normally, what people do is make your list of 100. Who does your hair? Who does your dry cleaning? All those things. And then we never look at it again. So I'm going to do it a little differently. This is how this prospect list works. I'm going to ask you to think about qualities, not just the, that they're a potential customer. Oh, darn it, this is not working. Well, okay. Let me get this out of the way. I don't know why nothing is working tonight. Technology is not my friend tonight. I don't know why, but that's okay. So I'm going to go back. So I'm going to go to this. Oh, there's my purple. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you to think for just a minute of a person that you have not invited to the business yet. Who has a name? Somebody you haven't invited that you'd like to invite to join you. Just say it out loud if you got one.
Judith Hollis.
What was it? Hollis.
Hollis.
Okay, I started with an S, so now I'm going to say Solace. Okay, so Hollis. That's the person we first thought of. Can you give me a quality of Hollis? A characteristic of him or her?
She's a very busy, active mother of 3 young boys.
Okay, so she has a full life. And she manages her time well. So I'm going to say active, but she also manages her time well. Okay, anybody else? Who do you know that is active and manages their time well? Give me a name.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, beautiful. So I'll put Cheryl here. Anybody else?
Sandy.
Another S, so another Sandy. Another one. Give me another name.
Izzy.
Izzy?
Mm-hmm.
What a cute name, Izzy. Okay, so I've got Izzy over here. So what is a quality of Izzy?
Oh, she's a busy mom of a little guy. And yeah, so just a very active young mom.
And another quality?
Outgoing.
Outgoing. Okay, so I'm going to put here outgoing. Forgive my handwriting. This pen is out of control. I'm not that good with this. So yours, I'm sure, looks much better. So outgoing. Everybody, who knows somebody that is outgoing? Give me a name.
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay, so we got Melissa here. Who else is outgoing?
Anne.
Anne. Who else is outgoing?
Debbie.
Debbie. Okay, what is a quality of Debbie?
She's very personable. She
Likes people?
yes, she does. She's a dental hygienist, and so she
So she's got you captured in that chair. What else are you going to do?
Exactly.
It's a good play. Good dental hygienists are good ones. Okay, so I'm going to put a D. Her quality is she's personable. And the little sidebar is she's a dental hygienist. Who knows somebody that's personable? Give me an idea. Give me a name. Anybody know somebody that's personable?
Ken.
Jen?
Ken with a K.
Ken with a K. Okay, so I got Ken. Who else knows somebody that's personable?
Jennifer.
Jen. Anybody else that's personable?
Vera.
Vera. Okay. So now, just in these few minutes, we have found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people that we came up with, 11, in just a couple of minutes. And what is the difference with this is we were looking at their qualities. We were looking at their qualities. We weren't looking at anything else. We didn't count them out. What happens sometimes is people count people out before they count them in. And I want you to really think about that. If you're looking at a quality in a person, it's something that you probably really like about them. So this is a fast way. It's called exponential prospecting. And it's a fast way. I've done this when I could write with a real pen. I had 100 names in less than 5 minutes. So this is an activity you can do with your folks and say, oh, nobody wants to join my team. I can't think of anybody. If they're looking for qualities, they can find nice people in the grocery store and they can just say grocery store clerk. They don't even know her name, but next time they're going to talk to her. So it's a really interesting thought of what a different way to find people. Now, one other thing that I think is going to be important for you to know, I guess I have to, I don't know what I have to do. The eraser's still there. Okay, so this is one thing I want to say to you. If you learn to coach people through their journey, coaching is the #1 retention tool in the direct selling profession. I'm going to say that again. Coaching is the #1 retention tool in the direct selling profession. So people that learn how to coach other people keep people. So if you've got that skill down, you're going to be very, very good at what you're doing. It's going to happen. So learn those skills. And there's only 5. You don't have to learn 25 skills. You learn 5 skills. Skill number 1 is called powerful and empowering questions. Learning how to ask questions that are open-ended, that begin with who, what, when, where, how. Skill number 2, heart-centered listening. Learning to be present with people, hearing what they say, giving listening responses. So saying, what What I'm hearing you say is blah, 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 blah. Or what it sounds like is, what I'm sensing is that you're frustrated. What I'm gathering is this is a difficult time for you right now. So those are listening responses. So someone knows you're hearing them. You know, I listen to every word that somebody says. I do. I've trained myself to do that because I want to be the best I can be for that person and to understand them. So you want to hang on to people and have them stay with you? Coaching is the answer. So that's going to be a new skill for all of you. And at the end, I'm going to open up an opportunity for anybody that wants to be coached around something. I'm happy to demonstrate what that would be like. Maybe you have a new person that's just said to you, oh, I thought this was going to be easy. It takes way too much time. And you don't know what to do with that. You don't want to try to convince them. See, today, when you add, if it's customers or it is team members, you want to engage them. You don't want to convince them. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. You want people to feel, I found a home. This person really does care about me. Let people know that you care. Remember them. Think about it. Sometimes just call people up just to say, I was thinking about you. Or I haven't heard from you in a while. You don't call them and say, it's the end of the month. Did you put in your order? That's not what this is about, folks. Or, hey, you haven't bought anything in 6 months. What all do you need now? Or, you know, we got this on sale or that on sale. Let them know you care. People don't care how much you know. People don't care what you want out of the deal. They want to know you care about them. Especially during COVID, I really encourage people to go down their customer list and go down their team member list and just give a call to people. And I think it's the same today, that people are still hungry to feel they have connection with other people. They aren't a number. They're a person with real feelings. So take the time to follow up with people. And especially in the beginning, you know, the only time they hear from you is when you want something from them. That's not a good thing. They don't feel that you even care about them. It's all about you. And it really needs to be about them. And, you know, you might be sending them something that you have a sale this week. Well, maybe that is because you care, because you know that they really like this product. Or, you know, I know we have people on here from Avon, and, you know, summer's coming up, and that bug spray, you know, that you have, or mosquito repellent or whatever it is just to say, you know what, summer's coming up, and I know you don't want to have your grandchildren getting eaten, their skin eaten to death, or big welts on their body. So we've got our mosquito repellents on sale this week, and I was thinking of you. That's different than saying you want to buy some mosquito repellent. You see the difference? So coach them through their journey from the beginning, so they know that's what you're about, that you do know how to lead. You're not their boss. Remember, nobody came into direct selling to have a boss. They came to be an independent contractor, to be their own boss. That's what it's about. So I am curious, what did you get out of what we shared so far tonight?
You said 5 things, but you only gave us 2. What's 3, 4, and 5?
I said I had 5 things. Oh, for the coaching. Thank you for asking. Skill number 1. I love people that keep me on track. Skill number 1, empowering and powerful questions. Skill number 2, heart-centered listening. Skill number 3 is called compassionate feedback. And you only give that when necessary. It's when somebody has a blind spot and they can't see it for themselves that you give, it's a way of saying something to somebody so they can receive it. It's not finding fault in them and not trying to make them wrong. It's opening their eyes to a blind spot that they might have. And it's brief. And it's also given in a timely fashion. And by the way, women are the worst at this. We don't want to have a conflict, so we don't ever say things. It's not a conflict, it's a conversation. Compassionate feedback is a very powerful tool. Skill number 4 is called agreed action and accountability. And that's when the person agrees to whatever action they're going to take, and they're accountable for themselves. And if you don't get agreed action and accountability when you have a conversation with someone, that's all it was a conversation with no results. So if you keep having these conversations with no results, I can guarantee you're not coaching. You're missing some steps. The fifth step is called I see you acknowledgement, as in I see who you are being. Just like we did with the exponential, it's a growth, I guess. It's a quality of that person. We're looking at quality. So instead of saying, good job this month, you sold a lot of product, say, you know what, you had a wonderful month because you are so loyal to your customers, because of how you follow up and you care about your customers. You talk about the qualities, not just what they do, who they be, their being. You can take that and apply it today at the grocery store or to your hairdresser. You watch the difference in how people appreciate an acknowledgement so much more than a good job, good job, good job. You did great today. Love my hair. Looks wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Those kind of come and go. Compliments are nice. People appreciate compliments. Acknowledgement sticks for a long, long time. I had someone give me an acknowledgement 20 years ago, and it was on a little piece of paper. And I'd never been told that particular acknowledgement in my entire life. I kept that piece of paper. It meant a lot to me. And I know that it does to other people too. So give acknowledgements freely as often as you can. Those are the 5 skills. So thank you for getting me back on that. Okay, so what are your ahas for tonight? What were the things that jumped out at you that you went, whoa, that was I never thought about that before. I never thought about doing it that way. I never thought about how to do that. You can put this in the chat box if you'd like, or you can speak it out loud.
If you don't mind, can you repeat agreed action?
And accountability, agreed action and accountability. If somebody'd like to type that in the box, the chat, it is when the person agrees to the action that they're going to take. As a result of this conversation, this is the action that I'm going to take. And I will be accountable for myself. You're not accountable for other people. I never have accountability partners. I have empowerment partners. We empower one another.
I love that, Nikki.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Empowerment partners is wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
I love this entire training. This was so good. But the biggest one that stood out to me is what you did with the memory jogger and how you spoke to the personality and like bringing out the different people in their personalities. I thought that was just, I've never heard it that way. And I thought it was brilliant.
Well, thank you. And you know what? It works. That's what I love about it. So sometimes it's good just to get one idea and implement it. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do is implement something that you learned tonight. Just don't think, oh, that was great, but I'm going to really do something. So look at the qualities of that prospect. Look at who they are and make sure you share those with as many people as you can, because sometimes people don't even notice it in themselves. And some families, they grew up, how people kept score was with what you did. Example, you were a good basketball player, so you got acknowledged that way. You were a good student, you know. So it was based on the doing. Sometimes we've got to look at who the person is, who they're being, and just take a few extra minutes and notice that. Watch their face and see how they just kind of go, whoa, they don't know what to do with it. Anybody else? Learn to listen and be present. These are good comments. Who's doing all this? Okay, Molly Dixon, I love you. Yeah, ask the questions, who, what, when, and where, listening. That listening to be present, 100% present. Be in the moment with people, particularly the people you love the most. You know, we sometimes are so busy thinking about what we're going to say or how to overcome that objection. By the way, you don't get objections when you're coaching people. You don't get objections. If you're getting a lot of objections right now, it's because you're making too many statements. That's how you get objections. You make statements. Stop creating those objections. Ask more questions. Don says, reminder of the ICU. particularly the people you love the most. Remember to just acknowledge them, that you see them, you see who they're being. That is a beautiful thing. So I'm glad we had lots of ahas tonight. That was a good thing. So I promised you, and I will open this up in just a second for our coaching, if somebody'd like to. I do want to tell you about what's next. We have a level 1 coach school, which is the first school. It's kind of where you begin, and it's going to start April the 11th. And you can go see that little at the bottom, that dswa.org, CES, that's Coach Excellence School -spring, or you can go to the events page. And by the way, at dswa.org on the events page is where you find out about the free classes each month. And we got a really good one for next month. So make sure you go there so you can keep up and come to these, and you can invite your whole team to these free classes. When you're a member of DSWA, you get a new video every single week that comes to you on Friday. So that's a good reason to, get more. And there's lots of those kinds of things out there. So that was the next part, that's when you can come. We invite you to join our community. You can take a picture of this if you'd like. You get a free newsletter. You can be part of our Facebook. Please do not feel bad if you go to Nikki Keohohou. First, you got to know how to spell it. NICKI-KEOHOHOU. The Keohohou in the Hawaiian alphabet, there's only 13 letters, and I got most of them. But Nikki Keohohou, I can't take any more friends. So just put N Keohohou, and you can find me that way. We have a YouTube channel. We have lots of things that you can come back to that I'd love for you to see and know. Yes.
I have a question. I get the email that tells me about these free classes, but I'm not getting the weekly emails. Who do I contact?
Are you a member? Did you pay the $8.95
I
a month?
have been. It may be that my card was compromised and you're not.
That happens.
So who do I contact?
Go to membership@dswa.org. Membership@dswa.org, and she'll get to you.
Thanks, hon.
Mm-hmm. So I would like to ask if there's something that anybody would like to be coached around, or something that you would like me to repeat, or you just have a question.
Well, I have a question. Yes. And Nikki, you gave me a wonderful coaching last month, so I don't want to take that spot, but I've had in the last few days 3 people that I know pretty well. They're all women, somewhat older, but a range, and each one has ovarian cancer. Mm-hmm. And I want them to take Juice Plus, and it's not like they've just learned about it. One of them has already had surgery, so they're not like in shock, but they're not doing it. And I just if you have anything to offer about it, maybe it just, and they're not like terribly allopathic. They're open to holistic things. They're intelligent. Mm-hmm. So it just,
so here's a question you can
I've tried
ask.
To do my best.
Here's a question you can ask that person, because you can try to convince them and you really don't get very far with convincing. So it's just say, what if anything may be holding you back from exploring this possibility?
Okay, great.
What if anything may be holding you back from exploring this possibility? It's like somebody that has bad acne and they don't want to use skincare. It's what if anything is holding you back from trying something different? What is working for you now? There's a class that's going to come up in a couple of months too. It's called the Coach Approach to Sales and Service. And when we do that, you're going to get a lot of these tools of questions that you can use to sell more product. You will sell more product. Yes.
I love you, but my dinner timer is going off.
I wasn't
supposed to be ready so fast.
Don't burn it, honey. Go enjoy. Thank
love
you. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anybody else?
Are there recordings of these meetings?
Yes, please.
Every one of these calls, if you registered for the class, you get the recording. So even if you can't be on the class, at least sign up so that you can get the recording. You want to
Okay.
register for it. Thank you.
And it
for
will
asking.
come when? Tomorrow?
Usually the next day. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I see your hand up, Janice. Did you have a question?
I sure did. Thank you.
Yes.
We just finished having a kit sale, and I had a number of people join me, but now they're ghosting me. Like in terms of attempting to get them started, find out all the things that you're talking about. And so I was just wondering if you have any recommendation. One to the extent where she unfriended me and had been so gung-ho about wanting to be able to get a kit. She has medical issues, so I respect that may well be what's going on, but I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job of serving anyone in this particular instance.
Okay, so first of all, we have kidnappers. All they really want is the kit, and they're looking for a discount on that product, whatever it may be. So we want to express when you have a kit sale, one of the most important things to do is to say, now, when you get started and you receive your kit, we have a process for you to be the most successful in this business.
This is actually an electronic kit, so they didn't even get anything physical.
Okay, so when they decided to join, what's making you think that this is something you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you looking for from this business? Ask those questions as you're enrolling them. It's not just to get a kit.
Yeah.
And with an electronic kit, they're not even getting any real tangible product, but sometimes, and I will say this, and I don't think this would be you. I think you're probably a very gentle soul, but there are some people that just pay for the dang kit just so you'll quit asking them, and they just like, okay, I'm going to sign up so she'll stop bothering me. That's not a reason to take on a new sign up.
Oh, exactly. Well, in this instance, a lot of these people joined online, and they're people from all over North America. I don't even know them. I just somehow they ended up. So now I'm just trying to follow up and serve, as I was saying, serve them as best I can.
That's a little different situation. The sooner you communicate, as soon as you've seen them sign up, get to them, say, thank you so much for signing up.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. What are you looking for from this business? These are good questions to keep them connected with you, or at least open the door to the connection. You're not going to hard sell them. And that's what they're afraid of, that you're going to bug them, or that you're going to require them to do something, or that they have to put in all this time. And a good question for them is, how much time are you willing to commit to business? Because they might say, I have 10 minutes. Well, then they're not really serious about the business. You can talk about that a little further, as we did tonight. But this isn't their full-time gig. Are you looking for this as supplemental income, or are you looking for this to be your majority of your income for your family?
I really love the way that you have just presented an either or situation of, are you looking for this or are you looking for that?
No, open. Lots of room for them to choose. Lots of room that they feel safe in that environment. And that's the whole thing, that reaching out to them as soon as you can. My hope would be, and I don't know if you have anything to do with this or if you have any choice, but to go back to the company and say, whenever we offer a kit, on that same page, talk about what those options are, so that they don't just get the kit and do nothing. Yeah, that's not one of the things that we talk about. And here's another one that you can say to that person as they first join. I am here as a support system for you, for as little or as much as you'd like. We need to get a first call scheduled so I can find out more about how I can be of service to you and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because once you understand that, you're going to have a much better chance of dealing with them and meeting them where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that supportive for you?
Yes, it is. Thank you. I hope it supports everybody.
Anyone else with a question? I see a hand raised.
This is Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Nice to see you again.
I wondered if you have any word choices or recommendations. You know how valuable three-way connection calls are in our business. And I am having a very difficult time getting them scheduled, getting them committed. And I was talking to one of my sideline NMDs, and she was saying, don't use the word connection call. So I'm wondering how you would, what verbiage would you use to try to intrigue prospect or a distributor or even a current customer who you're trying to share the opportunity of the business with? Do you have a better terminology than connection call?
I haven't found that that's been a good thing. That worked for me when I used it, but maybe for her it hasn't. Getting to know you. The thing is, let me just talk about three-way calls for a minute, because they don't do this generally in party plan, but they can be very effective. Three-way call is when it's the upline, the consultant, and the guest. It's the consultant's responsibility to let that upline know who this person is, whatever they know about them, what their behavioral style is, what they've done so far, what they think they're interested in. Anything that they can do to support that upline to do a good job with them is a factor. The second thing is to edify the upline. Edify them. You know, I'd really like you to meet Dawn Tillinghausen. She's my support system in the company, and she's earned 10 trips with the company, and she's, you know, a top money earner, and she's a really lovely person just to get to know, and fun too. She's fun. So I'm really excited to introduce you to her. So you edify her, and then your upline edifies you. That this is all part of the process. So when you do this three-way, what you want to have a purpose, but you got to know what they're looking for. What if you have any questions about the business or about the products? You know, what would you like to accomplish in this call? Asking that person, because they don't know what it's about. Then they think what you're going to do is hard press them or try and get them to do something they don't want to do. They don't want that.
And what I say to my distributor or prospect or affiliate is we make it all about them.
Yes.
So it's no pressure tactics. It's no backing them into the corner. We just want to find out about them and see if Juice Plus could be a fit for them. We make it all about them.
It is about them. And the call needs to stay that way. It can't be about saying how wonderful I am. You know, there's few I's in those calls, very few words of I. You know, we and you it's who it's focused on.
Okay.
They don't want to feel like they're going to be attacked and have 2 against 1. You don't want that. So whatever you can do to make it seem like this is an opportunity for you to get your questions answered. It's an opportunity for you to learn more. It's an opportunity for us to get to know you. You know, those kinds of things help. I see a number 1, and I don't know who that is that has her hand up, but I'm happy to respond to whoever you are. Anybody that wants to say something, you can unmute yourself and do that now, or raise your hand, and I'm kind of scrolling through this thing to see.
I have a question.
Yes, this is Charmaine.
Yes, it is. I have a list that I built some time ago, and some things happened, and I never communicated back to these group of women. What in your opinion, or what you might suggest to me to reconnect with those ladies?
Were these people that you met at a trade show, or how did you develop this list?
I met a few of them personally, but then also I was in a networking group, and I have communicated with them back and forth, and then I didn't communicate with them for all, but it's a huge list of ladies that are interested in transitioning out of their 9-to-5 into direct selling.
So what, can you give me an idea of the reason that you sat on the list for a while?
Why did I sit on that list?
A really important reason,
I was
I'm
building,
sure.
Actually what happened is I had a breakdown of the program that I was using to funnel it, to communicate. And so I just didn't communicate back because it took me some time to really get that all set back up again so that I wouldn't have to just communicate with them through email or in that group.
So first of all, if people understand, like if you had an illness or something, if you told them it was a technical challenge, they'd say, why didn't you pick up the phone? You know, I mean, they might be thinking that. So it's not probably one of the better things that I had some things come up in my life and I didn't get back with you, and I want to apologize in advance. I remember, though, that you were interested and you wanted to know more. And now I have the time and I have the ability to share with you. When would be a good time for us to have a conversation and take a look at that again?
Okay, that sounds good. I thought about that, but I just wanted to get your feedback to see if...
most people understand, especially I had somebody that wrote me a letter today, an email, and somebody introduced us 3 weeks ago, and I wrote that day and I said, I'm looking for it and here's my availability in the next 2 weeks. And she didn't write. And, sometimes I'm not a judgmental person, and I'm sure that you're not, but sometimes you question someone's ability to follow through, and can I depend on them if they don't follow through the first time. So when she said, I had some things happen and I apologize. It is totally, I missed the boat on this. I hope you can forgive me. She was just very respectful and kind, how she worded it. It wasn't those exact words, it was something like that. And I thought, she really is sincere. She's sorry she did this. Something happened. Everybody has things happen. And she at least reached out now. She didn't wait a year. She reached out now, and I set up a time with her. So most people understand. Best thing to do is to be honest. Don't say, I'm sick if you're not sick. Someday they're going to find out and they'll never trust you again. So tell the truth, but make sure that, you're not giving her a whole bunch of excuses. You're just asking for forgiveness and move on. And most people will understand that. Was that helpful for you?
Yes, it was. Because I really wasn't sick or anything like that. I just had a whole system breakdown in it.
So if that ever happens in the future, get something out to those people and let them know, I'm having some technical difficulties. I will get back with you within the next 2 months. If there's something that it's urgent to you right now, here's my phone number. Please reach out to me. People like people that are just straightforward. Just put it out there and let them know.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Molly, you have your hand up. Did you have a question?
I did. It's about ghosting, but it's a little bit different than what Jerry had brought up. This gentleman, we've had 2 three-way conversations with my upline. The last one was 2 weeks ago. It was phenomenal. He agreed that it was time. I'm ready to order the product. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. My upline suggested that I put together some pricing for him. So all he would have to do is give me a quantity of what he wanted. And nothing. There's been absolutely nothing. And this ghosting's gone on since last July. And I'm stuck. I don't like that word, but I mean, I don't know where to go with someone who keeps saying, because he has kept saying that since July.
He does still say it.
He promises this, promises that, and then he doesn't follow through. So I don't know how to deal with somebody like that.
First of all, what do you think will be different if he does enroll?
Different for me or different for him?
Different from how he is behaving now.
How do I think? Well, for me, it would be take my stress away. Maybe that's the problem. I'm
so you're wanting something from him that he may not be capable of doing, like commitment. People that don't commit over a long period of time, that's kind of their MO usually. And you're going to end up chasing him around the block 25 laps. So you got to think about that. How much do you want to chase him?
Okay.
And then the second thing is, if you gave it one good shot that says, so when we've talked the last few times, what you said to me was that you wanted to get started. So we can do that right now. So open your computer to here and you go, I don't have time right now. All right, let me know when you do, and we'll get this handled. Release out into the universe, because you are exhausted. It drains you when people do that kind of stuff.
It does.
Now you give it your best shot. You call when you say you're going to call. You're there when you say you're going to be there. You do what you say you're going to do. The thing about it is that sometimes we want it for them more than they want it for themselves. If you feel this guy is really worth it, I would have a heart-to-heart talk with him and just say, so Sam, the last 5 times that we've talked, you said you really wanted to do it. What is holding you back?
Okay. Thank you.
And see if he'll just tell you the truth. Maybe he's going to say, I don't have the money. I totally understand that. So how can you earn some money? What can you do now that maybe I can be of support to you so you can get some of this money in the door so you can turn your life to make it more joy-filled for you?
Very good. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I have a hand up down there from Janice. Janice, something hit you in the brain. I saw you go. Yeah. What was that?
I felt like I cut you off while you were starting to talk about kidnapping, and I'm wondering if you could talk to that a little bit more about what do you do if you have a kidnapper?
Okay, so kidnappers just want the deal. A lot of companies will do free sign up or $10 sign up or $50, something really, really low, just to see an upward momentum and hope that some stick. If that's all that they're there for, you're going to chase them around the block 20 laps. So if somebody is just looking to get the kit and get a discount, you've got to find out what else could be in it for them. Who do you know that could benefit from these products? Who could you share these products with so you could get some income coming in right away? So, how much time can you commit to your onboarding to get the training for you to be really successful in this business? But see, sometimes using the word success, that's a big fear for people. Fear of success or fear of failure are big fears. So you better know a little bit about that person before you use either one of those words.
It's interesting that fear of success is a big thing as well as fear of failure. That was a boing aha moment.
Yeah, because you know where that comes from. Someone that has had success in their past, maybe they've been a really good realtor, and the real estate market dropped out and they lost that success. Or they were married to a spouse that was very successful in their business and they had lots of money, and then it went away. So they think if I am successful again, the same thing will happen. That's a big fear for a lot of people. Fear of failure, they won't even do it because they're afraid they might fail. So if you don't do it, did you win or lose? So you failed before you started. I lost. I failed before I started. It just makes them think about it a little bit differently. By the way, thank you for this nice compliment. That was from Jerry. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was thoughtful. Anybody else with something different that I can be of support to you with? I hope you notice I don't use the word, I'm not here to help you. You are not helpless. So your job is not to help your team. Your job is to be of support to your team. It's different. Yes, Anita, you have a question. You got to unmute yourself, Anita. There.
This is my first time on a call, so
I'm glad you came tonight.
I apologize in advance if this is a save for later question, but you were opening up with trying to find out what the emotional reason is as opposed to the what?
The material reason.
And how do I figure that out?
Well,
I don't even know if I know what mine is.
Yeah, you want to find that out because that's what keeps you going when the going gets tough. The emotional why is what holds people to that dream. It holds people to the possibility of this could be a home for me. So that's probably one of the most important things you can learn as you start adding people to your team is that's how you keep them with your team. Because people move to action based on emotion. People don't move to action based on logic. Otherwise, everybody'd be doing whatever they're supposed to do because they know that that's the right thing to do. So it's emotion that moves people into action. So taking them to that emotional reason. I had a woman I talked with not very long ago, and she happened to be a grandparent. And she said, my grandparents didn't do anything for me. I never got to do anything special with my grandparents growing up. And they were always talking about how poor they were and things. She said, I want to be a different kind of grandparent. I want to be the grandparent that gives hope to my grandchildren. I want them to see possibilities. I would like to take them on a cruise and see multiple countries and for them to see what life is like on that other side, to know what's possible. And it was quite interesting to watch how much that meant to her. And when she figured that out, how committed she was to making the business work for her because it touched her soul. So Anita, are you late? No, we are late. By the way, I know it's a time change. Now that I'm in Eastern United States, it's 10 o'clock and I know that. So I know everybody's tired, but y'all hung in here, so I hung in with you. So this is the thing. If you learn to find that emotional why, if you have our Build It Big book or More Build It Big book, there's a chapter in each one of those. You can get them online in the store. Go back and read those chapters. There's a workbook that goes with those books, and you can take that workbook and answer all those questions, and you can find your own emotional why, which is really a good thing for everybody. So I have time for one more. I don't want to keep you out to midnight. I really forgot how late it is for you guys. See, it's usually for me, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I'm still ready to go. Now I noticed baguettes are coming on. So what else? Who else has a question or a comment or something you'd like to be coached around?
Are you in the snowstorm too?
No. Is it snowing out? No, I'm not in the snowstorm. I'm so happy. I don't even have boots with me. No, I thought it was spring here. I'm in Atlanta, so it's not snowing where I am. So I'm grateful for that.
Great. I'm in Maine. It's snowing like mad.
You're where? Where are you? It's snowing.
I'm in Maine. I'm in Maine.
Maine. You're way up north. Yes. Yeah. No, I don't have. Some of my grandchildren haven't been able to see snow yet. So we're going to take them one winter and let them just dive in and see how they do. They're used to making angels in the sand, not the snow. So anything else I can do to support you before we hang up tonight? I really enjoyed having you be here. And I know for several of you, this is your first time. And man, we had all these people stay on to the bitter end. Thank you so much. And just know that, DSWA is here for you. We are the Professional Association for Independent Direct Sellers. And for $8.95 a month, You get a new video every week and you get lots of other things. We'd love to have you be a part of this organization, and we just want to see you be successful. So take care, enjoy your spring. Your snow will melt and the daffodils are going to pop up. I saw some here in Atlanta. I was so excited. And just know that you can be as good as you want to be in this business. You can accomplish whatever you choose to accomplish in this business. I love direct selling and I'm proud to be a part of it. And I just want more of the world to know what a great opportunity this is for you and for everybody. You all have the same playing field. Choose to do something with it and make it happen. And next time, don't be the only one on here. Invite your whole team. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. Thank you so much. Aloha.
Hello.